Alright guys, welcome back to the channel here. We're going to make a video today about the 10 things I love about my Shelby GT500 Mustang. I'm making this video because of the last video when I made a hate video about the 10 things I hated about the car. Got a lot of people ragging on me, didn't like what I had to say about it, and thought I had to go sell it because of course I wasn't worthy of having this kind of a car if I hate it so much. The fact of the matter is I love this car, paid a lot of money for this car, still own this car, and this car's not going anywhere. I love this car. So let me talk about the 10 things I love about the car. So the first thing is I love the way the car looks. The Shelby GT500 is so aggressive looking, it's so mean looking. It's hard to ignore this thing coming down the road. The front end is just intimidating. The back end, bye-bye, going home? The back end is typical Mustang, tri-bar taillights, unique to 2013 and 14 Mustangs. But let me get those lights on for you actually. Let me see here. I love that look. Love it, especially at nighttime when it gets darker. The four tailpipes, the tips I should say. The surfboard looking wing on the back. And just the overall shape of a Ford Mustang, of course, but with the Shelby it's got the stance to it with the staggered wheel setup, the lip in the front. It's just clean. I love the way it looks. The long hood, the short rear deck, typical Mustang. But with the snakes on this car, the stripe package, the color, the huge intake on the front, the duct on the hood, this thing means business. And I'm not going to be ranking these 10 things I love about the car, but this is right up at the top. Another thing high on the list of things I love about the Shelby GT500 is the engine. For the obvious reason that it makes a whole crap load of power. 662 horsepower from the factory. And I love the way it delivers it. It's a positive displacement supercharger, 2.3 liter on a 5.8 liter V8. Dual red cam, 32 valve motor. This thing is making some serious power, and then of course, as all forced induction engines go, you start doing modifications to them with intake, exhaust, things like that. You get a lot more power. This thing's probably making about 800 horsepower at this point. Can't say enough about this engine. It's a nuclear warhead under the hood of this thing. I also like the way this engine looks. I mean, that means nothing for performance, but the way this thing looks, when you pop this hood, when you pop the hood open, I mean, some people that aren't in the know are like, what is that, a big block? Or look how huge that engine is. Like, in actuality, it's only a 5.8 liter. There's a lot bigger engines out there, but because of the overhead cams and the fact that there's 4 of them, the engine is obviously stuffed in there. But either way, it looks very impressive. The blue valve covers, they really do it. And I don't know, the thing's so mean. I love it. So, got to put the engine and drivetrain up there. Not the drivetrain, we're talking about the engine. Got to put the engine up there. The engine is at the top of the list also, as far as the favorite things I love about the car. I also love the sound of the engine. Let's get a clip of that. Alright, the next thing I love about the Shelby GT500 is the glass roof. Now granted, this is also an option on standard Mustang GTs, but on my car, I had to have it. Made a lot of sense to get this thing. A lot of people liked it, so I ordered it, and I'm not looking back. I love it. When you're inside the car, here, open it up, buddy.
Hang on.
There you go. It's not open air feeling, but it's pretty cool, especially again at nighttime when you're looking up, you're looking at the stars. So pretty cool. You don't want to leave that cover open when you're parked in a hot day with the windows shut. It turns into an oven. It turns into an oven.
Holder.
Yeah, cup holders are not on the list of the top 10 things I love about the car, but anyway, so yeah, that's definitely an option I highly recommend. That's something I love about the car. Another thing I love about the GT500 is these seats, the Recaro seats, especially the embroidered snake on the back. It's on both seats, of course. It's made for a 5-point harness. That's not on my list of things to do, but it's overall cool looking anyway. They have a lot of bolster, and they are manual seats, so they don't have all the motors and things like that inside it. Add more weight to the car. The car's heavy enough, but I'm really happy with these seats. They've held up pretty well. I've got 9,000 miles on this car already, and I'm a big boy, and I squeeze into this in my garage, and this is about all the damage there is. Not damage, really, just the wear, I would say. But overall, awesome seats, high quality. They kind of remind me of a 60s muscle car, the way they're made. So anyway, those are on the list too. Another thing to add to the list of the top 10 things I love about the Shelby GT500 are the wheels. This car comes with a staggered wheel set, 19-inch in front, 20-inch in the back. They're both 9.5 inches wide. But the style, the way they look on this car, I don't think they can be beat. I've looked at tons of aftermarket options for this car, and I still think this is the best wheel combo out there, the factory wheels. I've mentioned in the past that the back ones aren't wide enough, but I still cannot say enough about these wheels. They are very hard to clean, but I think they just really stand out in this car. I love them. I have seen wheels that look very similar to this on Lamborghini Gallardos. I'm gonna see if I can throw a picture up right now. You can see, but they're very, very close. But yeah, I don't know. I can't really say enough about these wheels. I love them. So let's add those to the list. Next thing I want to talk about on this list is the brakes. These front brakes in particular. These are 15-inch rotors with 6-piston calipers, Brembo. And they are not aluminum hat, you know, multi-piece rotors. They are solid steel rotors, but for what they're intended to do, they do well. Everybody always talks about how fast these cars are. They always talk about top speed, acceleration, maybe handling. But I think these brakes don't get enough credit. This car slows down in a hurry. You know, it's not often you're slamming on the brakes. I mean, it's very often you're flooring the gas pedal. But when you're slamming on the brakes in this car, these brakes up here do a damn good job. I can't lie about it. I know there's horror stories on the track where they put the wrong brake fluid in there from the factory, and they highly recommend switching it out for something else. But you know, I don't take this on the road courses and stuff. I take it to the drag strip and I cruise on the street. So the brake fluid in there works for me. But when I need to hit the brakes, those things are there for me. So that's a nice upgrade. It's a lot different. It's a lot different having a car with this much power that goes this fast with brakes that stop this well, versus like in my older year, or one of younger years, I should say. I've had Fox bodies, I've had SN95s. I've thrown a ton of power at them. But brakes are always a afterthought, and especially with the Fox body with those drums in the back and those tiny little brakes in the front, you're just asking for it. It's good that it's got brakes like this, but these ones are very good, I must say. Another thing I love about this car is the shifter. This is a factory shifter. It feels perfect in my hands. It's the perfect distance from me, and it's the perfect feeling that it's confidence inspiring. It goes right into gear. I've never missed a gear in this car. Hold on a second. We got somebody crossing over here. You want to play with the shifter?
Yeah.
I've never missed a gear in this car. I've driven C7 Corvettes. I've driven older Mustangs. Those cars needed short throw shifters. I would like a short throw shifter in this, but you know, this is not a problem at all. When I do a clutch, I'll probably do a short throw shifter, but the factory shifter in this, it just feels good. And then you got the ball on there. I think the story goes that this was a actual pool ball manufacturer Ford went to make these. Maybe that's not true. Maybe it is. It's a little small for a pool ball or billiard ball, but I can't complain. I love the way it looks. I love the way it feels. So that's on the list. It makes the driving experience that much better. Another thing I love about this car is the heritage, Shelby. The 2014 Shelby GT500 is virtually the same car as the 2013 Shelby GT500, in which Carroll Shelby actually had something to do with. There's videos all over YouTube of that guy actually riding in those cars when they were being developed. He definitely had his hand all over it. He approved of it. Everybody agreed in the engineering department that Carroll Shelby was happy with it, and they put the car to market. And this is what we got. We got 662 horsepower. We got a car that goes 200 miles per hour, and it's got his mark of approval on there. Every Shelby after that, all these GT350s, awesome cars, driven them. Carroll Shelby, I don't believe, had anything to do with those. Unless Ford really cracked open their you know, their concept drawings or deep plans and told them about them before the guy died. The guy had nothing. He never rode in a car other than the new Shelby GT350s, or much less this new GT500 coming out. But this car, he had his name on. He's got his name on the new ones too, but he's got his name on it. But he actually did experience this car, and I always thought that was kind of cool. The Shelby name. What else can you say about it? I mean, the guy won Le Mans. He beat Ferrari. I mean, Ford GTs, Ford GT40s, I should say. Lee Iacocca had him come out and they told him, "Hey man, make a sports car out of the Mustang." The guy said, "I'm not doing that. It's like making a racehorse out of a donkey." And Lee Iacocca said, "You know, you work for me, man. That's not a request. That's an order. You work for me." So Carroll Shelby went about his business building up the Mustangs, and the rest is history. And this thing's a monster. I love it. And Carroll Shelby, if that guy was never born, I don't think we'd have a car like this from Ford. I don't know what would the whole scene be like without Carroll Shelby. I think a lot of the other manufacturers owe a lot to the guy. So I'm very proud of that with this car. Carroll Shelby, it's an awesome story, American legend. So add that to the list. All right, one of the very most important things I love about this car, and I can give this reason as the reason being why I own one, is that it has awesome value. This car has so much value for what you're getting versus what you're paying, versus many other cars in the market. I think the Hellcat is in that area too. But back in 2014, 2013, when I purchased this car, there were not cars that were going 200 miles per hour for this price point. And because of that, I'm in a car that goes 200 miles per hour in my price range. A 911 Turbo, I don't even think that went 200 miles an hour in the used market. I was looking for one of those. This car goes 200 from the factory, and I mean, here's the price. I mean, this car has every single option. You can see I special ordered it, but if you look close, $69,535. That has every single option. We've got the track package, SVT track package, the electronics package with navigation, glass roof, black stripe, that's free. Shelby manual leather Recaro seats, Shaker Pro audio system, and the Shelby car cover. Ouch, I see those on the market new in box for a lot less than that, but it's on the sticker. That's what I wanted. I wanted it all on there, fully loaded. That's the most expensive 2013, 2014 Shelby GT500 you could buy, and that's the price. It didn't even hit $70,000. It did with dealer markups. Maybe some people paid that. I think the fact that this is a 2014, I special ordered it and the guy let me do it for MSRP. I maybe could have gotten him down if I told him I was cross-shopping a Camaro ZL1, but this is definitely an emotional decision for me. I've always been a Mustang guy. Had to get the Mustang. Went in there and kind of just said, you know what, let's get this thing. So that's what I paid, $69,535, and this thing's all decked out. It's got every option. The car started off at the sticker price on this car, I believe, before any options, was $54,650. So it's $14,000 in options, but $54,000 for a base model, and a base model is still good. I mean, you're still getting leather seats, a decent sound system, I assume. Different wheels. You don't have the coolers and the differential and all the other stuff, the oil cooler. But between $55,000 and $70,000 back then in 2013, 2014, this car's a monster. And of course, with no Hellcats running around, it was like one of the only monsters. The only thing else out there with a Corvette ZR1 making this kind of power, and that car was like 100 grand. So value. All right, here's a little treat for you. One of the last things I could say that I love about this car is, well, you know, let me show you. Before this guy was born, when were you born? 2014? You were born in 2014. You probably don't even know your own birthday. Mommy and Daddy bought this car. Here's a picture of Mommy and Daddy, my wife Katie, at the car dealership picking up this car on May 25th, 2013. Now, if you add 5 years to 2013, you get 2018. So May 25th, 2018. That would be the day the car was paid off. And I can happily say this car is paid off. It was not cheap. It was not fun. But we did pay this car off and we own it now. But we are 5 years older than what you see right there. So anyway, a paid off Shelby GT500 is a lot cooler than the one you owe have payments on. You owe the bank money. So That is something I love about this specific car.
Go.
So as you can see, I love this car, and many reasons why I love this car, but burnouts, long smoky burnouts, this car has no problem doing them. Love that about this car. Torque on demand, and you can lay rubber anywhere you want. That's a follow-up to the video where I said all the things I hate about the car. These are all the things I love about the car. I'm keeping the car. I do deserve the car. I don't hate the car. I love the car. So we're gonna keep this car. We're gonna have a lot more videos coming up. Stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Tell your friends about it, and we're gonna come back at you with some more videos. See you next time.
Let's go.
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.